Hello and welcome to Never a Foul. This is your Football Daily Update. I'm here with Cass and also the brilliant Sava from Football Heritage TV. We're here to talk about the Amrabat deal to Man United, loan with an obligation to buy. I think it cannot get better than this. Spurs losing their first trophy in August. Surprise, surprise.
Thanks for that.
And Chelsea are interested in everyone. Ferran Torres, Rafinha, Cole Palmer, my cousin, everyone around. Chelsea agree personal terms, of course.
My future baby boy that I don't have yet. Personal terms.
They're going to agree personal terms. It is what it is. But also, just an hour ago, apparently the Liverpool deal for Doucoure is off. Believes that? Or not?
I don't know. I saw something different. So this is what's funny. They say it's off and they're looking at Gravenberch. But I've also seen that Doucoure yesterday was left out of the matchday squad as well. And then another source called AZ said that they're working on the deal. Now, if you're left out of the squad, I'm pretty sure that means it's because both teams are in discussion pretty much and they're trying to force the move one way or another. So I think that's I could say watch the space. Even there's a new journalist, Daps just as well, Mattheus Nunes. He's from the Equip, and I would call it rubbish because see L'Equipe and RMC Sport in Spain and Gazeta and Build, I feel like they're all the same. But sometimes the journals have these off inclines or whatever what's it called? Incline, I think. They got I believe it's true anyways. I just think he's just taking a punt there. And I do believe it is probably accepted. It will get done and we'll talk about it and what it means for City even. And many, many more. And I think there's other little bits and bobs as well that we can, talk about.
Sancho, rumor.
Yes,
So
Sancho.
guess who? Guess who, Sava? Who's interested in Sancho? Guess who? Guess.
Not
us. Take a wild guess. Just
not
who's
Spurs.
The team that
Chelsea.
Would be interested? Thank you
Chelsea.
so much.
Yeah, of course, Chelsea.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say Spurs. I was like, hell no.
No. But anyway, let's start somewhere. Let's start with Man United. Sofyan Amrabat getting closer. I hope they can get it before the Arsenal, just because they need a midfielder, this team, Man United. How do you rate Amrabat deal, especially if it's a loan? That means it's not going to get into this FFP year. They're not going to pay any money, just a small loan fee, obligation to buy. How do you rate that, Sava, this year?
Listen, I can't understand why it's taken this long to materialise. Man U have wanted him all summer. Amrabat's wanted Man U all summer. I've got no idea why we're waiting. Like in the football world, why it's waiting until 60 hours of the transfer window to go to strike some sort of a deal. Amrabat should have been in through the door for Man United before the first game of the season. There is no reason why a club the size of Man United can't make this deal happen. Loan, I don't understand. Why are you not buying him? I don't understand.
Have the money. They can't report the money. They cannot spend that much money. Again, I know what you're talking about, but this is what we've been told. This is what we read, that they cannot spend extra 21 million because they couldn't get rid of McTominay and what's his name? Harry Maguire. Even Donny van der Beek is going on loan.
Fair enough. But I mean, even if it was going to be a loan, why not get the loan done before the season? For me, it just feels strange. I'll be really interested to see what Man United do their midfield now, because that now means you've got a number of midfield players. They can't all play. But look, good player, very good player, very good at what he does. I think he's one of the best in the world at breaking up play. He's an actual number 6. I know like so many people now try and shoehorn people into being positions they're not. Like, oh, you can defend. You're a number 6. No, I'm just a box-to-box midfielder that can tackle. Amrabat is a number 6. That is what that guy loves doing. He sits in front of the back 4. He's got a great engine. I think it'll be a really, really good signing, and gives for me Casemiro. I don't want to say protection, but gives him someone to work off of. Right, Casemiro should never be the holding player on his own with no one alongside him. That's not his role. So listen, I think if they get it done, it's a positive move. I think it's a really positive move for Man United.
It makes a lot of sense, Cass. It makes a lot of sense now. Now, Sava, you asked why they haven't done it early. It makes a lot of sense. They were waiting to sell somebody to pay the money. They told Fiorentina, we're going to pay you the money. They haven't sold anyone in that midfield, so they couldn't pay the money, so they went for the loan option. Now, all this late transfer for Amrabat makes a lot of sense, Cass, right? Now it does.
Yeah, now they're saying SFP is that natural thing. So I was working out some figures earlier, and I was dibble-dabbling in little bits and bobs. Weirdly enough, for once, Man United have made, this is all including add-ons. We spent 173 million, and we've actually taken in 63 million, including all add-ons, etc., right? So you think about it, that's 110 million of net of all of that when you put it together, and that's how much spend Man United's put. When you think of a budget of Man United of 110 million, you know, you look at along them lines, I think, is that really, you want to get your squad from here to here, but it's 110 million these days even good enough? So this is the only case Man United's got, clearly. You know, I look at another picture earlier, and they say how much money, like, you know, Man United's even spent from their own pockets rather than the owner's pockets. And it's the thing is, every single year, there's all, if you didn't notice, there's always a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less, because revenue's actually going down. And now you're seeing loan deals. When have you ever seen Man United ever do loan deals? Loan deal for Cucurella and a loan deal for Amrabat. I mean, profile-wise, you couldn't pick out a couple better names that's available right now. And I look at Amrabat with a loan and obligation to buy. That's good business for me, because, you know, like, if it can't work now, it'll work next summer. But if you still got the same owners, that means you're going to have 25 million less in the budget. And imagine you need a brand new, shiny new toy in defense. Maybe two of them. You ain't got budget for that no more. And that's the issue with obligations in case they don't work out. Imagine Amrabat actually sucks. The thing what I don't like about Man United fans is that, for me, for someone that's actually watched Fiorentina, you know, I watched them get in your final, get Amrabat against you boys. Great game for Fiorentina, lost, right? Is it just me, or can I hear crackling in someone's?
I can hear it as well. I don't know.
Might be Mo.
Let me mute myself. I can't hear anything, but let me.
Yeah. So like, someone that actually has watched Fiorentina. Go watch Fiorentina versus Atalanta. Go watch Fiorentina in the final against West Ham. Go watch Fiorentina even against Udinese. I can name you quite a few decent performances that I can name from this guy, and every time you watch him, you're impressed, and he's easily the best player on the pitch. But for the Man United fans that overrate him, now he's got a whole massive, you know, spectacle on him, and they're gonna watch every single move that he's going to do, and that's what I'm just. It's kind of annoying, like, in that sense. So now he's going to be, people are going to look at him like, oh, he better be the next best thing. Otherwise, they're going to probably start comparing him to El Nene. They're going to start comparing him to Højbjerg and all these dead players that are in and around other clubs. And that's the thing. Imagine he doesn't even start. He's like, oh, you got this great player and you're not even starting him. But for 20 million, you can't knock it, for me. For someone that really does rate him. I didn't know about him before the what's it called? The World Cup. And then after the World Cup, I thought, I need to watch more of this. I looked at Fiorentina. They had a decent start to the season, and then they've dropped off, and they had a great end of the season, in my opinion. But yeah, I think he balances the midfield. And you know what? The way I look at the way Ten Hag has set up, you can play an Amrabat with a Bruno and Mount, funny enough, because he covers more ground, and he can do it by himself, and he does do that for Fiorentina. If you watch Fiorentina, two of their centre mids, one of their centre mids goes very high, and the other one goes even further. I can't remember his name. But he's a little baller, and he's even there this season. He goes further up, so he can work in that sense. But I don't know, man. I don't know how this is going to work, because you can't play 2 DMs every week, in my opinion, Mo. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Is the crackling on? Is it me?
It's still there a little bit.
Even when I'm muted, can you check?
It's gone now.
Okay, how about now?
No, it's fine. It's fine now. It's fine now.
Okay, I can just hold the mic next to me. Amrabat is a mix of Casemiro and a little bit of Jorginho in terms of, like, he always demands the ball. He always wants to be on the ball. He isn't as good as Casemiro defensively, but he is good enough. I think he can play next to Casemiro, in my opinion. This is my opinion, because he advances with the ball. He knows how to pass. And I like Amrabat. I'm a big fan of him. I wanted him at my club, but he doesn't want to play in the Premier in the Serie A. He wants to move away. 27, I think, is a very good buy. And I said that before. It's going to be him, Casemiro, and Bruno. Mount will find somewhere else. That's a very, decent midfield because Amrabat can actually take the ball and drive forward. People don't know that. He's not only a 6. This is it. He's not only a 6. He can drive. Look at his stats. Look at his passing. They are a very progressive team, Fiorentina. Like, they go to any team in Serie A, even at Juventus Stadium, AC Milan, Inter, they want to have the ball. They want to have the ball. And that means he is a very progressive player. I think he suits Man United. I think he is what Man United need at the moment. And I want to watch him. I want to watch him next to Casemiro and I see what he can do. I'm convinced that he's going to play. I'm convinced that he's going to start because that midfield didn't look great, unbalanced. I think he's the one who balanced that.
Yeah. I've got some receipts on some people like Elias and stuff like that who was tweeting on Amrabat back in January. All the ones that said, "Oh, Amrabat's crap" and all that, the ones that were begging for him. Yeah, I found some tweets, so you better get deleting very quick. But yeah, I wonder if he comes in. I need him to come in for Arsenal game. Like, I really need him to be registered by then. I don't think he's going to start, of course, but he's someone that I would bring on. I know it's going to be Eriksen and Casemiro. And I know it's going to be Bruno Fernandes. And that's what I know against Arsenal. But he needs to be registered. And of course, you have to be registered by the 31st of 1st of September, right? So that needs to happen. He needs to be in that squad quick because otherwise, if he doesn't show up in time and he's not ready, he's not fit because he hasn't played, he's left out the Rapid Vienna game and that Rapid Vienna, whatever his name, in the Europa League, and he was left out before. So if he get left out now, that means the deal is going to get done more than likely. But if he's not in and against Arsenal, that's a massive L on Man United yet again. And this is what I hate about this club. Because they always do things late. And why did you have to wait so late now to get a loan deal done? Why could you not have done this last week or the week before? You know, even though if you're so confident that Van de Beek was going to get loaned out. By the way, FC Lorient looks like he's his next loan club. Man United have accepted a loan for him to go there, which is a mid-table / top 10 League Earn side, right? And he could be the difference that gets them Europa League. Then surely there's so much issues. There's so many issues. You should have just done this ages ago. We might not even lost against Tottenham. Imagine that. Just one DM in there would have made you not even lose against the Tottenham or maybe not even comfortable against Wolves. This is the the thing is, see that performance against Wolves. Let's rubbish it off because it's 3 points. But see them 3 points against Spurs. That might come to haunt you at the end of the season. And that's what haunted us at the end, nearly did at the start of last season. This is what
this is what I say. Like, big clubs, you should listen. You can get deals still late into the window, of course you can, when the season started. But you want the main bulk of your players. You want the main people that are going to be in your starting 11 tied up by that time. And that's why I'm surprised that the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man United haven't done that. You look at Man City. Realistically, Man City, it don't matter. Right? Man City have got their players from last season. All the new players will take a bit of time to bed in. But for me, you're right. If Amrabat had played against Spurs, would we have found it as easy to drive through your midfield as we did? Probably not. You know, I think that leaving it too late now, too many people leaving it too late. So I agree with you, 100%, Kaz.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know why clubs sometimes treat the season as it starts the beginning of September, as there are no 4 games before the window closes. This is what I really don't understand. That some clubs just assume that these first 3-4 games don't count. I just don't get it, to be honest. It's exactly what you said, Safa. I was like, why now? Why not earlier? The season started beginning of August. You needed the player there.
Mo, it's like obviously we're not talking about Spurs, but it's like Spurs right now. All of a sudden, this last 3 days, I'm seeing this player's going out on loan. This player's getting signed. We're signing that player from over there. We're selling this player. It's like, if you wait till the last 3 or 4 days of the window, yeah, you're out the cup now. It's too late. You've dropped points at home to Brentford. Too late. Those 2 points could come back to haunt you in your race for Europa, Champions League, whatever it may be. For me, I just think you've got to get the bulk of your business done before the window starts, before the season starts. I think it would be much better if they change the transfer window to stopping until the day before the season starts. If I'm brutally honest, I don't know why it rumbles on for the first 3 or 4 games of the season. I'm not sure why, but I'm sure they've got their reasons. But yeah, I get so annoyed supporting Spurs. It's always last minute stuff, which tells you, is there a plan? You know, is there a plan, or are we literally just winging it and seeing who becomes available? So Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, people, there is about 600 of you here. Hit that like button. Get us at least to 200 likes. Guys, the like button look like this underneath the live chat. Come on, just get me to 200 likes at least in these first 15 minutes of the show. Want to move on from Man United, but the last question is, Cass, is this the last piece of business you think you need to continue at least until January?
Other than Cucurella, which I'm looking at now from the Luke Shaw perspective, we do need. That's the last 2 deals we need. I don't think we need to go get anything else other than the second goalkeeper thing, which is done. Who cares? Yeah, there's nothing else other than Man United, other than one more thing, Sancho being on Chelsea's list. Do I think that's going to get done? I don't think so, but Sancho would be someone that would definitely elevate their front line to what they might want, maybe even in a 10 position, maybe. You know, it might be a little bit lightweight for some, but I think I don't know if Chelsea will be able to afford what we would want personally, and I don't think we'd accept it this late in the window. But I'm sure we can talk about profiles since we got 3 of them to talk about: Cole Palmer, Ferran Torres, and Jadon Sancho. Now they're saying that Cole Palmer is at the top of the list. All of these, Torres has got 6 goals in 5 games for Barcelona. Sancho is a fringe player, but he's trying to make his mark. How much are all these players going to cost? If I'm seeing an Emil Smith, and Emil Smith Rowe, which we were talking about last night, 4 different profiles of player, right? Which one do they get? Which one do they grab, or do they not have anything? Because if they think they're going to get a Cole Palmer for 35 million, which they've apparently bidded, that's going to get rejected.
It's rejected.
If Emil Smith Rowe is rated at 70 million without barely kicking the ball and Arsenal want an arm and a leg for him, how much do you think Jadon Sancho's, Ferran Torres right now, when Barcelona need money and they want to get, what's his name, in João Felix, and Cole Palmer, how much are they all going to cost right now, this late in the window? Savs?
Listen, I don't know. I don't see any of them as good enough for Chelsea either. I'll put it brutally honest. Listen, Cole Palmer is a good player. Cole Palmer's a good player, but again, he's a young player that hasn't forged his way yet. He's a young player that hasn't made himself a first team regular somewhere, and already people are going to be talking about massive money because, again, you're buying potential. Really good player. But what happened to the days of somebody getting into the first team, making the first team spot their own, and then getting sold? Ferran Torres never impresses me whenever I see him play. He grabs some goals. I just don't think his all-round game, he just doesn't impress me. Emil Smith Rowe, I do not think is good enough for what Chelsea need. I think he's a good player. I think he's look, there's a reason he's not getting game time at Arsenal, right? Because he's not that great. And then you've got Jadon Sancho. I don't think he elevates Chelsea at all in any way, shape, or form. Again, he is what I call a sometimes player. There's so many players that we talk about that are good in fits and starts, but none of the players we're talking about are consistent. And the biggest thing for me, guys, is I don't, Kaz, you know this, you spoke with me enough times now. I don't just rate people like that, right? I like consistency. I don't like when a striker scores 3 goals in 3 games and all of a sudden people are talking about him being 100 million and world class. Do it year after year, game after game, consistency. And I don't think that Sancho is that guy. I think he's explosive on his day. I think he causes problems on his day. But realistically, how many days does he have? If we're being brutally honest about it.
He had a lot of days, Sava, at Borussia Dortmund. 2 seasons, he was sensational in that. However, I get what you're saying. You've had a stinker of 2 seasons, a long time ago. Can Chelsea revive his career? Is Pochettino the right guy to revive this guy's career? It might be. To be honest, if I don't pick a manager to revive his career, it would be Pochettino, in my opinion.
When we say revive, though, Mo, is it reviving? I hear that word a lot. Is it reviving, or is he just not as good as people think?
Well, he was good. I saw the talent.
Having talent is one thing. Having application and consistency is a completely different thing.
But he did it for 2 seasons in a row. Borussia Dortmund, Champions League, the challenge for the league. And Borussia Dortmund, it's the same. Okay, so we can say the same at Haaland then, and he banged that City. Jadon Sancho has the talent. Kai Havertz, by the way, has the talent. Because I saw it 2 seasons. He scored like 17 goals and like 19 goals at Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. People say the Bundesliga is a farmers' league. Yes, but he scored a lot of goals and he's a German international. That means he's not just a scrub. Jadon Sancho isn't a scrub. He's not a scrub. Jadon Sancho.
But when you have 2 years like he's had, is it 2 now? He's been at Man United. Is this his 3rd season?
3rd, yeah.
Right. When
Yes.
you've had 2 seasons like he's had, you have to look at it and go, why in that 2 years, right? Why in that 2 years has he never held down a place and shown consistent form? If you are that good, you will stand out at some point. And we can talk about players forever going, look what they did 2 years ago, 3 years ago. That's great. But right now, I'm looking at it and does he improve Chelsea? I don't know. I don't know is the answer. Does he? I don't know. If he does, why doesn't he improve Man United?
No, he doesn't, Sava. No, he doesn't now. Okay, at the moment, the Jadon Sancho of the last 2 years, no, he doesn't even start for Chelsea. The Jadon Sancho of the last 2 years doesn't start for any of the big six. The last 2 years, he didn't play enough.
Of course he starts for Chelsea. What, they've been playing Chilwell there because of injuries. Of course he's starting.
Okay, Cass, based on the last 2 years, Jadon Sancho hasn't played consistent football at all over the last 2 years.
And
he hasn't.
I'll go off how crap Chelsea was. Sterling hasn't shown nothing in the last couple of years. Even his last season at City wasn't that great. Mudryk, what the hell is that? Madueke, he's always injured anyways. So, and now what else have they got? Chilwell and Matson. So how does he not start for Chelsea?
I don't know. He's going to play in the left
I think
wing.
when everyone's fit, I wouldn't have him in the team, if I'm brutally honest. I think, listen, as a squad option, great, right? But again, is he going to move to be a squad option? I think when fit, I'm taking Raheem Sterling over Jadon Sancho any day of the week. Yeah, the Raheem Sterling, I don't even think is the greatest player, but you know what you're going to get from him, right? I think Nicholas Jackson will be a good player for Chelsea. Nicholas Nkunku, when he gets fit. I just don't think... I don't mind Sancho. I'm not saying he's a bad footballer. Again, it's that consistency. I don't look at him and think, yeah, you're good. He doesn't scare. I don't think he scares defenders. I think he's a sometimes player. But if people want to hype him, cool. I've got no problem with that. Doesn't bother me in any way.
Yeah, no, Dolzman, you know what? You're correct. He doesn't start for any top 16, but you're a mid-table team, so he would start for you. That makes sense, doesn't it? Thank you for highlighting. So the way I look at it, Sancho, look, Chelsea have been ripping off teams like Arsenal, Man United this summer, and you think you're going to get him for 35, 40 million. I do wonder what Chelsea's actual budget is. You know, like you know what I see? I see a loan for Ansu Fati being the last resort because I keep seeing he's being offered on loan to Tottenham. I saw that Man City were interested in him. So I think in the end, all these players are going to cost too much money. Do they want to go and spend out another 70 million on another player? I don't think so. I don't think so. If you want a prize right now, Man United will not replace Sancho in time, especially when working on 2 deals to get over the line, especially with Chelsea at this current moment. I think Sancho is definitely an option. I don't think he's at the top of the list. Now you look at Cole Palmer. What is 50 million for City? Now let's talk about the actual target, Cole Palmer, right? I've seen Sterling hit on the right-hand side and looking like the best Sterling that I used to know back at City. And I'm talking about 2017, 18 Sterling.
20 goals Sterling.
The one 20 goals Sterling. The one that arrives at the back post type Sterling. The one that takes on a player and absolutely rips them apart differently. And I've seen it in 2 games. Don't get me wrong. One was West Ham and one was Luton. And it was exactly the same performances for me. And one was a little bit more... The Luton one, he was a lot more confident, of course. And you could definitely see that he's picking out players as he was involved in every goal. Why on earth would you want to move him over to the left all of a sudden? That's what I don't get. What are they viewing Cole Palmer as a potential 10 or a right winger? Because he's not a left winger.
Left winger.
He's not a left winger, man. He's not a left winger. The guy likes to cut in. And I think he's the guy. He's definitely got a good shot on him as well. I've seen it against Arsenal. You know, I saw it again in the other game as well. Who did he score against? He scored another goal. Who was it? He
scored against Sevilla. He scored against Sevilla. Header at the far post.
That guy is a right winger. That guy is not a left winger. And if you want to put Sterling over on the left, I just don't like Sterling on the left. I don't think he's got a left foot. You kind of know what he's going to do every single time. It's like, why would you want to ruin something decent? That's why I don't understand why they're not targeting left wingers. Yes, Sancho is a left winger, to be fair. Ferran Torres is not a left winger. He's too stiff. He's a right winger / I think he's better down the middle even. So I look at it like this, and I just feel like even 50 million is not going to move the needle. If you want to price someone like Cole Palmer away, in my total opinion, Cole Palmer's got great potential. And I think you'll get a lot of minutes under Chelsea. But you're going to have
potential
to...
FC.
You're gonna have to fork out 70 million to Man City to move the needle right now. They just about got Doucoure, Palmer, Foden, Grealish as their wing options and Bernardo Silva. Foden's going in the middle. So there you go. I just don't see it.
Doesn't it say a lot, Kaz, that Chelsea now are going to the point where they're having to sign players that aren't even regulars at their own club? Like, let's be fair. Cole Palmer should be using this year to come through at Man City, get more and more minutes, the way Foden did years ago. More and more minutes. Listen, you're not going to play week in, week out at Man City unless you're a superb, ready player, right? And unfortunately, he's not yet. He's still young. But if Chelsea sign him, I don't know. It just feels like Chelsea are just running through every option in the world. I don't feel like that at the moment. Like, they've just not got a plan, have they?
Yeah,
they've not got. It just feels strange.
There is no plan.
Don't say that, Sava. They're a well-run club. They know what they want.
I get what they're doing. But listen. I get what they're doing on the one hand, right? Oh, sorry, don't know why that started up. I get what they're doing on the one hand. I get it. They want lots of young players. They want to mold them so that in the future they don't have to buy as many players, and then it also works with sell-on value. We've seen how Chelsea do that. That's great, but it just feels really, really strange now that they've gone from this player to that player to that player to that player. Like at what point are they gonna settle on a target? And Chelsea for years have never bought. Listen, is someone modding your show? Is someone modding this show? Yeah, if you are, just can you block that special one? I come on it every week, and all he does is abuse me in the chat. Just block him.
What did he do now? What did he do now?
No.
It's gone to private chat.
It's fine. It's just a bit. It's just getting a little. He follows me around all the channels, and it's just so annoying. Okay. Look, yeah, I think they need better. I think at the moment they need more ready-made than Cole Palmer, who I think is going to be an excellent player, by the way, but shouldn't be Chelsea's big signing to play on that right-hand side, if we're being brutally honest, or left. Shouldn't be. Yeah, I want to see him developed under Pep.
Francis says Poch wants a player who's already in the Premier League, but clearly, Francis, he doesn't. Because you're linked with the only one that was linked in the Premier League that was already was a Michael Olise. Everybody else that you've targeted hasn't. Sancho, like a player who's already in the Premier League. I mean, already, not already. Yeah, maybe, but Cole Palmer hasn't really been in the Premier League. Sancho, how many games has that brother even played in under United?
Even Emil Smith Rowe. How many games do you think Emil Smith Rowe played in the Premier League? Not even 50 games, bro. Not even 50 games in the Premier League.
I mean, it's just as much as a gamble as any other player from any other in any other league. And when he says, so you think we're going to go from 35 million to 70 million? If Arsenal are quoting you, if Arsenal are quoting you 70 million for Balogun, how much do you think City's going to quote you for one of their guys that they look at as part of their first team, by the way? Trust me. So at the end of the window, I'm not saying Cole Palmer is worth 70 million because he's not worth 70 million, in my opinion. He's not proven anything yet to be worth 70 million. But on talent alone, he's probably about a 50 million pound playing in today's market, 50, 55. I think that's fair enough, right? 70 million is the price you got to pay. You got to overpay. Cheick Doucoure is not worth 70, 80 million. He's a 50 million pound player, but guess what? Palace are going to ask for 70, 80 million. So if they're quoting like Eze for 70, 80 millions, Elise, they're looking at him as probably a 90 million pound. How much do you think City are going to think that Cole Palmer's worth right now with what? One or 2 days to go? Am I wrong? Yeah, am I wrong in that part? So even if you don't want to pay that, right? Who else you going to go get? Because where's the plan? As Sava was saying, you don't know what you're talking. I know Special One was saying you don't know what you're talking about, but I think 1, 2, and 3, and people that are not rival, that are not Chelsea supporters, we're all in agreement.
Can we just stay as well, Kaz? When we're talking about what is Cole Palmer worth, can we all be brutally honest? How does anyone actually know what a guy that hasn't broken into the first team properly is worth? Like, no one can put a value on him. There's no consistent run of game. Not his fault, but he's not been played in consecutive games for anyone to go, this is his form, this is his pattern, this is his skill set. What we've seen is really good cameo and one-off appearances. You can tell he's a very talented footballer. But how could any one of us sit here right now and go, he's 30, he's 50, he's 70? How does anyone truly know that? Like, the only people that will know what he's worth is what Man City will allow him to leave the club for. That's the only ones. We can't sit here as fans and go, oh, he's 30, he's 40. We don't know that. We've not seen how many games he played. Anyone know how many games, how many 90 minutes has this man completed for Man City? It's just madness. Football world's gone mad, and Chelsea are. I don't know. Chelsea can do. They've got all that money. Go and get some ready-made, competent players that can go straight in your first team and hit the ground running.
Should have got Mr. Diaby. You know what I mean?
Right. There you go, Kaz. A Moussa Diaby. Even a Kudos. You look at Kudos at West Ham, 45 million euros. Why didn't Chelsea go for a player like that?
I don't know. The only thing I'll credit Chelsea on a little bit about no plan is that they didn't expect to have 9 injuries at the start of the season. They didn't expect Nkunku to get injured. They didn't expect Cheick to get injured. You know, there's a lot of attacking players that are out at the moment. Even Mudryk carrying a knock, right? That's the only thing I can think about that Chelsea had to dip in. It's kind of like, so I'll give them that part of leeway. But yeah, targeting players like Cole Palmer, I think it would end up being a success there. But I think it left their attacking options a little bit left. Go on.
So no, I was just saying that Fabrizio Romano has just given the here we go for Clement Longley to Villa.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was like, yeah,
decent signing for Villa, man. Because you know what it is when you think about it. Tyrone Mings got his ACL, and they're looking at left-footed defenders, and they just spent. Wait, didn't they just go get Pau Torres? So they need someone that's going to
They got Torres, but that's the only
season.
That's the only one.
It's a cheap option for them. I don't mind it too much for a Villa, not anybody else for a Villa.
I watched him all season. I watched him all season last year. I was so glad he didn't come back.
He was trash.
But listen, Mo, you like some really bad players. That's what I've worked out from you today, Mo. You like some bad players.
No, you're very harsh when you talk about a player.
Mo,
can you talk the same about Raheem Sterling, Sava?
Mo, hang on. I've been watching Clement Longley for years at Barcelona, and he was poor, right? I've watched him come in at Spurs for a year, poor. If you're good, you'll stand out. If you're good, you will show bits. He can't run. He's very lackadaisical on the ball. He wants so much time that he doesn't get. He can't turn. Anything that goes in behind him. Listen, I'm glad Villa got him, because when Spurs were linked with him again, I think the whole Spurs fan base was going, nah, not this guy. I'm not harsh. I just don't like bad players.
I think defenders thrive. I think defenders would thrive more under what's his name? Emery, because the how he likes to form up and shape up in a 4-4-2, defend quite deep if he needs to. I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay back up for them. Again, late in the window, man. You know, does Aston Villa not have a plan then? You know what I mean? You have to go.
No. Hang on. Listen. I get it. I get Aston Villa. Listen, I get it that clubs have to react to what happens. Man City have reacted to De Bruyne and they're trying to bring in Nunes. I get it, right? But with Chelsea, it just seems like they're just like, one day it's Elise, the next day it's him, then it's Cole Palmer, then it's like, whoa, like how many like Bakayoko's on their list and Fatty they want, and like how many can you want? Like surely you've got this is our target. We're gonna go and make this happen. But
Kingsley said it's the Joe Shields guy who wants Palmer. I think he's at Chelsea. I saw a picture of him and Foden in the picture of Palmer and all that. And then Ed Mank said Man City has asked for 50 million. Do you mind linking me? Can someone link me that that one? Because I got told before not to listen to Nizar Kinsella very early in the window. I never knew of him. He popped up about little bits and bobs, and they said don't look towards him with Chelsea news and stuff like that. It's all rubbish, so I'm not going to look at him. I'll wait for others. I just don't see Man City looking at him as 45 million. I'm thinking, nah, man, surely 60, 70 million it's got to be the case. Wait, someone's texting me. But anyways, Chelsea got a long way to go. You know, I still think they need another striker. No, bro, I ain't seen Broja in and around. I would like to see more Broja, to be fair. But this is what happens when you got one game a week. You can afford to play. You know, you can afford to play the one game, but they definitely need attacking options. And fast. I don't think this is going to be the end. I saw actually, funny enough, I saw another link with them about Ivan Toney as well today. And I know Ivan Toney can't
Chelsea.
I know Ivan Toney can't play till January, but I saw something that Brentford wanted like 80 million for him right now. And maybe they pay that in January. Can you kind of see any legs for that, getting that deal done before he's wanted in January by many clubs? Would it be kind of smart to get him in now for January?
Why that face, Sava? What happened? You don't rate Toney as 80 million.
No.
Well, hang on. First and foremost, I'm not getting into a whole Toney debate again. We did this last week.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm looking at it and thinking, what? There's like 60 hours of the transfer window left. I don't know. I'm guessing that really won't be very straightforward to do. I'm guessing it would have to be a gentleman's handshake more than anything, right? Because they're legally not allowed to have anything written down as a deal for Ivan Toney while he's banned.
No.
So,
I think no. They can sign the contract between them. He's not allowed to train until October, but they can just add him to the squad. He's not. He cannot play football. He cannot train with them. But the contract can be written.
I heard that there's nothing allowed to be. I heard that he's not allowed. You can't go into negotiations for a player that is banned. My understanding is that you're not allowed. I don't know. Listen, I could be wrong. Just somewhere I read that. Look, at the end of the day, I don't see it being done in the next 3 days, if I'm completely honest. For me, I don't understand why Chelsea didn't go for Vlahovic, someone like that. I'm not saying he's the world's best, but he'll score goals. I don't know why they haven't a target man for people like Nicholas Jackson and Sterling to play off. I don't know why they've not gone and
they
done
were
that.
outpriced. They were outpriced.
How are Chelsea outpriced? This is what makes me laugh, though, right? Chelsea are splashing cash on everybody. How are they then outpriced for a position that they really, really need?
The deal was going to be Lukaku for Vlahovic plus cash. They wanted the cash money, Juventus, and they didn't agree on a fee, so they walked away. It's as simple as that.
No. I completely understand how being outpriced for something works. What I'm saying is, how have Chelsea been outpriced? Like, if Chelsea have got all the money in the world, they need a centre forward. Surely, whatever fee Juventus put in front, they go, yeah, we'll pay that. They've done it for Caicedo. They've done it for Lavia. They did it for Mudryk. Why would they not do it for what is probably their weakest position?
Just a quick break in again. Fabrizio says negotiations between Chelsea and Man City for Cole Palmer are ongoing. Told City want fee in the region of £45 million to advance in discussions.
Wow.
So they want, and that's not including bonuses. I don't think they wanted to advance in discussions. Chelsea had contacts on player side as Palmer would be open to joining them after initial contacts. Palmer was out of Man City, and I think that's not unknown to City fans. Him and Pep don't get along. Pep wants him to stay, but he just doesn't want to stay. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe he wants somewhere fresh. 45 million, and apparently they had 35 million rejected. So I can hold that one by myself and say, look, Man City would want 70 million in because it's the end of the window. 45 million in this current market is cheap for negotiations. And of course, I'm going to feel like they're going to want a sell-on fee.
I mean, you can say it's cheap. This is a guy that's played 19 Premier League games for Man City and completed 90 minutes twice. It's just mad. It's the market's gone mental. I'm not saying he's not a good player. It's just mad.
No, but for me, 45 million for an English player that can cover multiple areas. And I know it's just potential, but remember, this whole market for a lot of the teams have been down to potential. So
I hear you.
No one, the only player, I feel like Aston Villa are the only team that really bought anyone that's more ready-made, like a Pau Torres and a Moussa Diaby's and so forth. They've already got them, and I feel like 45 million. I think Chelsea fans and they would agree, like 40, and even Man City fans, 45 million is cheap. We got Simon here, one of our members, saying, "Do not sell Cole Palmer even for £100 million." 45 million. I don't know what Chelsea negotiators have got, but they're wicked.
If they can do that if they can start that 45 million, if they can get Cole Palmer for 45 million, I think it's a very good deal for them. I know what Sava's saying.
Great deal for Chelsea, bad deal for City.
I have seen players go for potential without even one game, without even being registered in the first team for 15, 20 million. Chelsea paid some real money for players that haven't even had one feature in a top 5 league. They do that. So Cole Palmer, I think 45 million. I think that's very cheap for the talent. I think that's very cheap.
I'm going to run a poll. I'm going to write who's got the better deal for Cole Palmer, Chelsea or Man City. I want to see what all you guys have to say. Mo, do you mind running up some likes?
Yeah. Guys, hit that like button. There's about 1,000 people here. Give me the like button, please. Hit that like button, because this is the bread and butter of the channel. This is how we actually go to different people watch us, and this is how we get subscribers. So please, how we give you free content daily. Hit that like button. Give me to 500 likes. The like button underneath your live chat. Hit close. Hit that like button, thumbs up, and then come back and chat with us. And I want everybody in the chat, you say vote, and then also tell me in the chat, how much do you think Cole Palmer is actually worth? Just one number, 45, 25, 50, 70. Let me know in the comments how much you think he's actually worth. I
feel like it's a better deal for Chelsea, and I think Saba's saying it's probably a better deal for Man City. Right? I'm gonna have to look at it two sides. He's an academy product. That's 45 million profit, regardless, for Man City. It's not like they spent any money on him, right? So that's 45 million profit on Man City. On the Chelsea half, English. Remember, we always talk about English tax, talent, players that always go for mega buck money in this current transfer market. For me, 45 million is cheap. So technically, I think maybe both sides are getting a great deal, but City fans will feel hard done by that. That's this late in the window and you're getting 45 million only for this guy. When you think about it, Lewis Hall went to Newcastle for 35 million. He played only a few games last year. 35 million. Balogun. No, but Balogun at least had a season and a full season under Stade Reims. So he's gone to Monaco for 35 million and 40 million, if I'm correct. Palmer's also got 1 year left on his contract, I think, if I was just checking it on Transfer Market. 1 year left and 45 million. Maybe asking for anything more is a bit crazy, but then Mason Mount went for...
Look, I just try and keep my feet on the ground. Listen, I like Cole Palmer from what I'm seeing from him. Looks a really good player. Right? I just think when we're now talking about the market is 45, 50 million for players that haven't even played 20 appearances and only 90 minutes. I just, where does it stop? Like where does it stop? Not even players that have played a full season, not even players that play 90 minutes week in, week out. And now we're just going 45, 50 is the standard price for players. As I said, I like Cole Palmer. He's a very talented player from what I can see. Maybe Chelsea will get the better deal, but it's just mad.
I have more breaking news. Mattheus Nunes is now finally sealed a deal to join Manchester City. That's a cold picture as well. Mattheus Nunes, here we go. Verbal agreement reached with Wolves. Mattheus already on his way there. He's already out the door. It's only an hour away from Wolves anyways. Understand Tommy Doyle will join Wolves on a 5 million deal. What? Tommy Doyle? If people don't know about Tommy Doyle, yeah, let me tell you for free. Talent. Very good talent. Very, very good talent.
Was he the one at Sheffield United?
Yes, Doyle. I think he's the one. It's very good talent, yeah. And I don't think he will make it at City because it's a hard to break in. Tommy Doyle will join Wolves on a 5 million deal plus 50% sell-on clause. What am I reading?
50%. City are not
very cheap because it's very cheap, guys.
Oh my word! How 5 million? Don't get me wrong. Tommy Doyle 5 million. Cool, whatever. It's an academy product. Hasn't played no minutes for you. Came in pre-season. 50% sell-on clause is mental. If he has a 6th season at Wolves and Wolves get relegated, as we say they're going to get relegated potentially, someone's going to snap him regardless, and they're going to get their money back regardless. At one point in his career, he's going to get sold from Wolves, right? Because no one really stays at a club for too long. They're making money. That Ticky guy is pissing me off. The City have got stuff ran so well, it's unreal.
Mate, you think, Kaz, if they sell him, if they sell this guy in the next few years, 30 million, yeah, then City have made treble their money back. Just off a 30 million sale, which, look at the crazy prices, it's not unheard of. Listen, this City are so good in the transfer market. People cannot say they're not. Look at Lavia. Yeah, look at who's the guy they sold at the beginning of this window to Southampton.
They sold the goalkeeper for 15 million. The guy that under 21 goalkeeper, they sold the player. To be honest, they're making money without even having the player to play 1 minute in the first team. They're making money without having the player.
This is what you call. This is why they said that they got the best, well-run club or the most valuable club in world football right now. Yeah, so you got the goalkeeper guy, the one that played for England. What's his name? Trafford went for 15 million, right?
That Burnley, the Burnley guy.
Burnley. They just made another 15 million on Lavia, maybe more. Potentially, they got you know, on that deal. You look at all the other guys that are gone as well. You know, I think there's talks of that other. I think that centre back captain. I can't remember his name. He might be going on loan. Harwood, I don't know what his name is.
Oh, Herwood Bulis.
Yeah,
Is that
he's a talent. That guy's a talent as well. Bazunu as well. They've got selling clauses there. They've sold other young talent elsewhere. Selling clauses there too. Carlos Borges, talent there, money there, 20 million. They're creaming. The fact they're making out so much money out of a cap. This is what Chelsea used to do. You know, this is what Chelsea's model used to be. And
this is what Chelsea still do. This is what Chelsea still do, right?
You know what I mean? And Chelsea's got that market on lock. And now you're seeing a deal like that. And I'm seeing 50% sell-on clause. That's crazy. He will go for money and you will make your money back. Whether it's 5 million profit or 15 million profit, it's still profit. You know?
Look, how much have they made this summer alone from the youth team sales in one way or another? So if let's assume 45 million, let's assume 45 million pounds, Cole Palmer, right? There's your first 45. 5 million for Doyle. There's 50. 15 million for Trafford, right? That's 65. 15 million for the other guy who went to Southampton. I can't remember his name. That's 80. 15 million for Lavia, if we're saying they got money off that deal. So they've made 100 million pounds if they sell Cole Palmer through youth products.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a little look.
Still bringing in Rico Lewis into the first team, whilst bringing through Herwood Bulis is still there. There's a couple of other, really, is it Bub, who's the highly rated youngster at Man City as well? It's just well run from start to finish. It's well run.
Well, Sava, when you win triple across 3 youth teams, under 21 and under 19, well, that's just a sign of you're bringing up amazing players. They won the triple in 3 youth teams. So to be honest, this is ridiculous. Listen, we said that before. When your owners want to win, when they win, okay. Yes.
That's planning. That's planning, right? Like, since this is the thing, I think as football fans, what a lot of people do is we look at them since Pep Guardiola and I always get his name wrong. Is it Tiggy Birkenstein? Since they went there, everyone just looks at, oh my God, look at the money they spent on the first team. But what they've actually done is mirrored the first team throughout all of their youth teams, the same way Ajax and Barcelona have for years. And they've built an academy, which is now it's an ATM machine. Their academy is a money-making revenue ATM machine.
They now made 100 million this window alone. Riyad Mahrez, 30 million or 27, whatever. Eric Laporte, 22, 23 million. James Trafford, 15 million. Carlos Borges, about 12. I think it's about 50 million after add-ons and etc. to Ajax. Shea Charles went to Southampton for something like 8, 9, 10 million as well. They had a guy called Yangel Herrera, went to Girona for a low fee, and they had another guy called Mabude that went to Westerlo for something like £1 million. And then there's a load of free transfers or loans that's gone there. Now
add Lavia,
that's an extra 15 million. So you could
Cole Palmer,
15 million. Cole Palmer, that's 150 million. No, tell a lie. It's 115, and now I'm at 40. That's 160. With that, that's 165 million that they spent this window. That they've actually taken in roughly this window, and they've only spent 155 million in total for all 3 now, plus Nunes, 60 million, 50 million, something like that, 200 million. In net, they've only spent technically 40 million roughly.
That's how you run a club. And how much money would they have made last year from winning the treble?
300 million, they said.
300 million.
Right. Yeah, that's how you run a football club. This is how you run a football club.
That's what you call proper stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it hates me to say this because they're supposed to be the noisy neighbors. Clearly, we might be the noisy neighbors these days. We're just knocking on, being little pests. Oh, can we have a good board? Oh, can we have new owners? Oh, we want shiny new facilities. Why can't we have that? Always comparing to Man City all the fucking time. Gets on my nerves. But yeah, man, this is what happens when you're at the top, man. You can dictate the game as much as you want, as much as you need, even.
Yeah.
So,
guys, there is about 1,200 of you here or 1,100 of you here. Come on, get me to 500 likes. I don't know how many likes are we on, but come on, hit that like button for us so we can keep bringing you free content. Come on. But we'll move on from Man City. I think we'll talk about it in details maybe tonight or tomorrow. about the Mattheus Nunes transfer and what happens and what.
We'll be talking about
Exceed
tonight.
will-
We've got Greasy and we've got rivals. So we got everyone. Monts, me, Greasy, Daps, Kendall. We need some explanation. We ain't heard from Kendall since their loss. And also what's his name? Igal as well, which we're gonna dive into. That's just a hectic show in itself. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
But the last part is I want to talk on Liverpool. Actually, funny enough, Cheick Doucoure, and we're going to talk about a little bit of an update. Sava, do you reckon it still actually gets done since he's been left out the Palace squad as well yesterday? I'm not even too sure if they won, but if you get left out and you're still training, but you're left out, you clearly there must be talks. There must be some talks for Liverpool fans, and I'm seeing stuff about from Jan Argafjortoft saying that the Salah deal is done on his behalf, and I think he's a fraud. By the way, I think he's crap, so I don't listen to him.
Right, I just want to have a look. All I'm doing right now, I'm looking at what team Palace fielded yesterday, just to see whether or not a lot can be read into it. So, look, they put out a weakish team, but most of the other first team players, well, it was a semi-strong team. Most of the other first team players were on the bench. Obviously, no Doucoure. You can read into this what you want, right? We can read into this what we want. Same with Eric Dyer being left out of Spurs. Does it mean they're going? Look, I think we said this the last couple of weeks. We definitely need for Liverpool. We definitely need to see Liverpool strengthening that midfield area if they're going to have any chance of having a really good season. Because I think that they've got some good. I thought Szoboszlai the other day was very good against Newcastle. I like Alexis McAllister. Endo will be a good player. I just still don't think there's enough. I think you've got to have a little bit of depth there. I think they're missing a component. And I like Doucoure. I think he's a really good player. So look, is he going to go? Everyone, like we said last week, guys, everyone knows Liverpool have got money. They whacked down a £110 million bid for Caicedo, and then that got rejected, and then they spent 15 million of that or 16 million of that on Endo. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but that leaves them just shy of £100 million if they had that money to spend. So, yeah, I would expect to see a Doucoure maybe and another centre-half come in during the last...
It's funny because
I don't think it happens. I actually don't think it happens. I think Crystal Palace are going to set the price at 70. They are not going to negotiate. Liverpool owners and the negotiation team will be stubborn enough to say we're not paying you that much money because he isn't worth 70. But in this current market, Crystal Palace can dictate whatever they want. They can say, yeah, it's the last 2 days. We want 70 million. You want him? Show us the money. I think Liverpool are stubborn enough not to pay the 70. I think it's not going to be done. I think there is another target that's going to emerge within the next hours. Cheaper option. They're going to go for that based on how I read the Liverpool negotiation team.
I haven't Liverpool negotiation team.
Like for me,
sorry, I thought you said a name. Sorry.
No. There's Gravenberch. He's not a 6. The problem is how Liverpool negotiated for Lavia is embarrassing. And at the end, they didn't pay the money. I think they're not going to pay 7 million for Cheick Doucoure. They're not.
I think they're going to have to. I think they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice at this moment of time. They've been linked. Right, let's go off what we know. They've been linked to only 2 names, no centre backs whatsoever. They've been linked to Doucoure, who's been now got left out of the squad, and then Gravenberch, who is rumored that now that he wants to leave Bayern Munich. Right? Why are you linked with it, mate? What if they go and get both? Loan option. We always talk about Gravenberch loan option as a potential thing, and 20 million by obligation to buy potentially, and a Doucoure. You want Endo? Is that not good? Is that not great business? Because Thiago leaves at the end of next season, right? So, kind of makes sense if they get. Let's say, don't you think they might get both of these and leave the centre back maybe till later, and might look at that again in January?
Possibly because Endo can play centre half. So they've kind of got some cover in that area. Listen, I think Liverpool are right on the cusp. I think these next 2 signings they make is either going to make them a really top team for the year that people are worried about playing against, or going to make them very much like they were against Newcastle, a team that's very hit and miss, right? Let's be fair. Liverpool done really well to hang on in there. They've got some wonderful attacking talent. Their midfield grew into the game. But that's not enough if you want title challenges and top 2, top 3. You've got to be more consistent. So these 2 signings are massive. If it is 2 signings they're going to get, for me, I think Gravenberch makes complete sense. I think that's a good footballer. I think he'd do well. I think Klopp would get his arm around him and get the best out of him. But I do think they need another one. I think they're just lacking a couple of players. They don't need any more forwards. I think we can agree on that, right?
Liverpool have been linked with I think his name's Tiet. How do you say it? Tiete or something like that? And Hincapi now.
Hincapi.
Now if you let me double check that. I'm gonna have to double check because if you get Hincapi, I'm just gonna scream. Piero Hincapi. I'm not looking at. I can't see no links at this moment of time. I saw a link.
Well,
a few days ago.
Romano said a few days ago, Kaz, he said that there were 2 Premier League clubs that were about to open discussions for Hincapi. He didn't mention who. And there's quite a lot of clubs that need centre-half, so we'll see.
So there are apparently Bayer Leverkusen are asking for 70 million for this guy. I'm not too sure. I think Hincapi's definitely one. He plays in the back 3, if I'm correct. Left-sided player, left back, can cover left back a little bit. I think it'd be wicked for them, to be fair. You know, I think it would be 70. But you're not going to spend 70 million on him. That's another issue. You're not going to.
I don't reckon it will take 70. Do you?
No.
I don't think it will take 70. I reckon 50. I reckon you could get him for 50.
They already sold Musa Diaby, and I always find when a club already sells one of their big assets, they're going to want to also want more money for another asset because that means that's another. You're going to have to go find an even better player potentially to.
Who did they replace Diaby with? I saw the other day and I thought, well, that's a good signing, and I can't remember who it is now. Anyone? They bought a right winger.
Nathan Teller.
Yes. I think he's a really good little player, Nathan Teller. I think a really good little player. I think he'll do well. But this is what these clubs do really well in Germany, don't they? They buy these players young. They have 2 seasons where they excel. They sell them on for big money, and then they buy the next prospect. They do it really well. Very, very well, these teams.
Very well. But yeah, man. But other than that, Mo, is there anything else?
Not really. I just think that this is going to be a really crazy 3 days. Spurs. We didn't talk about Spurs, but fine.
What about Ansu Fati? Anyone?
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that earlier as well. I reckon he ends up at Chelsea. No, he ends up on a loan somewhere, but I got a feeling Chelsea. He still goes to Chelsea. I still think they need a left-hand side player. You know, if they got Sterling and I just don't know about Madueke. This guy's always out. Always, he's even that PSV. Go check his injury record. Crazy. I think they could do with that. But I know
FC, bro. I swear to God,
I know you don't want him. You don't want him potentially, or he might just stay. But I just got a feeling he ends up at Chelsea.
I want to ask Sav a question before we end. Why you're not linked with a freaking number 9?
Oh, don't. Do you know what? I love, Mo, right? I love it. When I get rival fans, not you, when I get rival fans trying to roast me for being a Spurs fan, I know what my team is. I know my team's deficiencies. I'll be the first one to tell you. Baffling. Look, all the noises, Mo, coming out of the club are that it's actually Postecoglou who doesn't want a number 9 and that he wants wide men. And all the players that we've been rumoured to be in talks with, Brennan Johnson, Bakayoko, Fati, they're all wide men, right? I'm concerned because I'm going to call this right now. Right? I think Richarlison is one of the worst strikers I've ever seen in a Spurs shirt. I think he is absolutely shocking. He can't control a ball. He can't pass a ball. His dribbling is terrible. He doesn't assist. I don't know what this guy does. And the fact we're not in for, I thought we might get like a Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord or a Gift Orban. Do you know what I mean? Like even a Taremi from Porto. We don't seem to be after any centre forward, and this is going to kick us in the backside. Because you know what? We're going to play some wonderful football this year. Fans are going to love watching Spurs play. And you know what? There's going to be games where we absolutely struggle to finish our dinner. And not buying a number 9 is going to be the difference between Spurs challenging the top 5 and trying to get Conference or Europa League. Calling it now.
There you go, man. Last super chats. Charlie Costa, cast the MEFC owners or Todd B. What's MEFC plan? We ain't had a plan for about 20 years, mate. I mean, don't you worry about that. Kingsley says, how much money have Chelsea made in sales? Let me just go look at transfer market. I can double check for you. Chelsea transfers. This is all on this. So it says here.
Something like 260 million, isn't it? Something like that.
No less. What's 254 million euros? 255 million euros.
Oh, okay. So what,
But that's about
230 million quid, something like that?
less than that, I think. I think it's 220 million, I think. And they bought 500. No, now after Cole Palmer, that would be 500 and no, tell her that. Sorry, that's 490 million pounds, I think. Nearly
So
500
it's
million.
218 million pounds they've made so far in sales.
Yeah, that's what it said. This is what it says on here. So they spent, net spend is like 300 odd in it. So there you go, man. Late signings are a worry, panic buys and mistakes. Yeah, this happens every window, man. If we're being honest, happens every window. But big up Craig for the super chat, and we're going to be back at 10 o'clock tonight, straight after the Chelsea game as well, where we're going to have rivals. I'm pretty sure it's going to go off. Don versus Daps, I can smell it. Me versus a gal because of the weekend, and then we need to hear from Kendall and see what she says. Let's see what the excuses were or are. But yeah, so. Back tonight. Make sure you subscribe to Sava as well on Football Heritage TV. It's in the pinned or it's in the description. He's here every week. So big up himself. And what else is there? Well, there's nothing else, is there?
Thursday. Nothing.
Tomorrow's Thursday. Nothing. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I mean tonight. My bad.